speaker this evening is Cynthia Stott. Cynthia is an experienced Toastmaster who has actually started a second career in terms of doing heartfelt speaking and coaching, and has been a member of this club. Are you a charter member of this club?
No,
It's
about
been
2 years.
It's been a member of this club for 2 years. Tonight, Cynthia will be giving a speech labeled Living from Passion. I'm going to ask her evaluator, Philip Bursong, to read her speech objectives.
Her objectives are use stance, movement, gestures, facial expression, and eye contact to express your message and achieve your speech's purpose. Move your body language, make your body language smooth and natural. And the time is 5 to 7.
5 to 7 minutes in the same timing parameters what Ernestine repeated earlier. So tonight's speech from Cynthia Stott is Living from Passion. Living from Passion, Cynthia Stott.
Thank you, Tyree. Living from passion, different than living with passion. It's a lot like the law of attraction, or what did you call it? The law of mind action. I had never heard it put that way. It's all about intention and intentionally creating. So living from passion is really about creating your life from a space of passion, rather than just kind of finding passion as it comes. So 3 questions you can ask yourself. The first one, I think, is the most important one. What is important for me now? What am I most passionate about now? And sometimes it's hard to find the answer to that. People can seek for it for years and be on a journey for 20, 30 years before they really find, what am I passionate about? Why am I here? Because oftentimes, why we live our life is because of our real innate passion. And one tool that I've discovered. Hello. Come on in, Louise. One tool I've discovered in helping to find the answer to these questions is just simply putting your hand on your heart, getting yourself quiet, doing some breathing, and asking, what am I most passionate about? The second question is, when you found what you're most passionate about, maybe 2 or 3 things might come up, is asking, what's possible now if I live from that passion? It's like starting with the end in mind. If I design my life from that place of passion, what's possible for me? And again, it really helps to quiet yourself, still yourself, meditation or prayer, whatever it is that you feel calms you down and quiets you so you can hear that still small voice. Hand on your heart and breathing. What is possible for me when I live from this passion? Third question, practical question. I love practical questions because without practicality, we can't put it into action. So it's just like if we think about what we want, we need to be practical. Well, what do I want? Okay, I don't want just a car. I want the Acura, and I want the luxury, and I want this and that. So it's about being practical. So again, putting your hand on your heart and asking, what is the next step that I can take? Just the next step to live from this passion and to realize what it is, to realize being put into action what I'm passionate about. So we've got a few minutes here. I haven't gotten the green light yet. So do you want to try some of these questions? Sure. Your game? Yeah. So put your feet flat on the ground. And let's just breathe in together. Breathing in, out, breathing in, and out. And then if you like, place your hand on your heart and just feel your heart. Feel the beating and the breath in your heart space and ask, what am I most passionate about? is that thing that makes my heart sing? Just breathe and listen. And then we're going to ask another question. If I live from this space of passion, from this thing of passion, this thing that makes my heart sing, what's possible for me? What's possible for me? And breathe. And listen. And one more question. What is one thing that I can do? Let's give it a time limit in the next week that will take me closer to living from that place of passion and where I see myself going by living in that place of passion. What's one step I can take? Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Slowly open your eyes. Maybe you got an answer, maybe you didn't. Everything's okay, right? Because you can always ask again, pretty simple questions. So it's, what makes my heart sing? What am I passionate about? Maybe it was something when you were a little kid. And what's possible when I live with that passion in my heart, doing that thing that makes my heart sing, bringing that into my life more. And then what are the small steps I can take in the next week or so to bring more of that into my life? Blessings to you, and I hope you can live from passion. Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. Here for Cynthia's speech is Philip Birdsong, our Vice President of Education.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most especially Cynthia. What a delightful speech. I was wondering how I was going to ascertain your body language and body speech for the talk, so it was definitely interesting. Let me go over the points that we all know. Cynthia has always been able to establish a visual bond with the audience because her gestures are genuine and friendly, and she speaks very clearly and audible. So by that, you are always able to hold your audience in the palm of your hand. You've demonstrated, you've mastered that ability. So when you use your open palm gestures, that actually invites the audience. I really like that. Something you did was very interesting. When you said 3 questions, you held up your hand where you had 2 fingers here and 1 finger here, and I said, well, this is the European version of 3. In this country, we use 3 here, but in Europe, it's 1, 2, 3. So I said, wow, well, this is a different take.
It's my sign language.
It's your sign language,
Yeah, this
okay.
is 6, so you don't.
And I was like, oh, okay, that's a different way to go 3. All right. What I did like was the fact that you used the stage and you stood to make a point. Sometimes people move and they're talking and it becomes a distraction for the audience. So your moves were purposeful. When you invite your audience to close your eyes, you must command them that it's time to close their eyes, and then you must give them a cue on when to open their eyes. Because when you were saying deep breathing, there was an assumption because you closed your eyes that the audience should, but you didn't exactly express that, and so people didn't know. So be sure it's distinct that you want someone to close their eyes and when you want them to open their eyes. And your points, what's possible for me, what makes my heart sing, and what small steps can I take to bring that into my life. One of the things that I've always looked at from speakers is what is the takeaway? So at the end of the speech, what is exactly that I'm supposed to leave with that's fulfillment? So when you go back and look at the speech, think, is there one of those points that sticks out most that you want to get, and then reinforce that in the speech. And then the other thing is, in Toastmasters, you never have to apologize for anything. So when you say something like, I noticed the green light doesn't, no one in the audience knows about the green card. So you only draw attention to it when you mention it. So just smooth out your speech without having to explain. There's an old saying in politics, the minute you start explaining, you lose it. So don't explain, just keep the speech smooth. Great presentation, and I look forward to hearing more.
Thank you, Philip.